Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Wasabi. I'm very excited to bring this to you guys, and I know you guys are excited to see it because you've been asking me questions about it. Every time I post on Instagram, they're like, what is that? What is that thing? What is it? I understand why you don't know what it is because it is currently in a limited release, but it is going to be a serial production knife in a month or so. Currently, this is number 18 of 300. They sold them at Blade Show. They're going to be selling at Blade Stock, which is like the European Blade Show. And then the rest of everybody's going to have to wait a little while to get one, but not too awful long. Don't know exactly what the price is going to be yet, but judging by what they're charging for the limiteds, I would guess it's going to be somewhere north of 300, just a little bit north of 300, not a lot, like 310, 315, something like that. I'm just taking a guess, but I don't think it's going to be horribly expensive. Judging by other Wiis, it is an M390 titanium frame lock Wii, so we kind of have a ballpark of what that's going to cost. It is a collaborative design, so maybe there's a little bit extra on there. And it is a collaborative design with Raphael Brzeski. I love this guy's stuff, and when I heard Wii was going to be using some more European designers, and then I heard it was him, I was really excited and not disappointed at all. This looks a whole lot like one of his customs, and it's an amazingly well-designed knife. I will say, I held this review up a couple days because I wanted to make sure that I really loved it as much as I thought I did. Like, that's how much I love it. Like, I kind of didn't believe it. And now I've had it for a couple days more and used the hell out of it. And I do. I love it that much. I'm going to make a big revelation at the end of this video. But no, I really do. Or a big statement, I guess, in this video. I really love this knife. It is freaking fantastic. It's beautifully designed, beautifully made. I have two little minute quibbles about it, and that's it. And they're the most minute quibbles in the world. So prepare for some gushing, just telling you. All right, let's do some stats before I just get completely off the rails here. We have an overall blade length. These are 1-inch squares, so you can see. Overall blade length of almost dead on 4 inches. You have an overall length of 8.6 inches. You have blade stock of 0.153 inches. You have behind the edge thickness of about 21 thousandths. That's a really hard measurement to take, but that's what I got. So pretty slicey, especially for a big 4-inch blade. You have a handle thickness of 0.51 inches and an overall weight of 4.19 ounces. So not bad at all weight-wise for a knife this size. And when I get to the quality and aesthetics, I will try and get some close-up pictures of the inside and show you why it doesn't weigh that much. Let's do some size comparisons, get that out of the way. Here's a knife that in size that you guys have all seen, which is not nearly this expensive, that is very similar in overall size. I have to say, the Rat Model 1, this is very similar in size to a Rat Model 1. So if you don't consider a Rat Model 1 too big to carry around, you're not going to consider this too big to carry around either. 4-inch blades, a lot for an EDC, but it really, the packaging of it, it's very small in the pocket. It works well. Let's do a size comparison here for the height. I always feel like these are more accurate to show you than, as you can see, folded, it's a bit smaller than the Rat and definitely a bit shorter. So I feel like this is more effective than just telling you that measurement, which is just a hair over an inch. But you can see in the pocket, it's actually fairly small. So they do an excellent job with the packaging on this. We'll get to, I'll save that for a minute. We'll show up close how well they do with that. Let's do some more size comparisons here before we move on. We have the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. A little bit longer than that, but definitely much smaller in the pocket than that. Here's a knife that is a bit smaller in the pocket and a bit smaller overall, let's be honest. The Benchmade 940. But again, see, it's not, for 4-inch blade, it's not dramatically larger than a Benchmade 940, which is a knife that kind of just disappears in your pocket. And this, we'll use this for a size comparison because it's here and it's mere moments from going in a box and going to another reviewer. Last time you'll see it on here, the Bestech Pterodactyl. Last time you'll see it until I buy another one, let's be honest, but just a little bit larger than that. Now let's talk about this knife just aesthetically. We joke around on here a lot, and some other YouTubers have picked it up, and even a couple companies have picked it up. I've heard internal people refer to stuff as Bryan-Spec. That is my real name. I like to call them adult spec knives. I don't like bright colors and stuff. You may call it boring, but I don't like huge bright colors. I don't mind colors, but I don't like bright, flashy, ridiculous stuff. I like earth tones and stuff like that, you know, but this is the epitome of Bryan-Spec. This is a Bryan-Spec knife. Like, this is gray, and I love it. You may think it's boring, but it's beautiful in person. It really is. Pictures do not do this justice. I admit, when I first saw it, even I thought, maybe that's a little plain, even for me, but now that I have it in hand, it's beautiful. And I have a couple of friends who got them, 3 or 4 friends who've got them at Blade Show, and they all say it's gorgeous in person. It really, really is. I love the finish on the titanium. It's not overly done, but it's enough that it's going to resist nail trails fairly well, I think. I'm sure I'll get some. I like the finish on the blade. It's bead blast, which I normally complain about, kind of, but it's like a polished bead blast, and it's gorgeous. It really looks great. And if this had a satin or a mirror or like a machined finish, I don't think it would match the handle well. I think they made an excellent choice with this finish. It's like a modified bead blast. You can tell they really put some thought into it to make sure that it really matches the rest of the knife, matches the hardware and stuff, and it's gorgeous. Zero billboarding. You have the Wii logo on the pivot. You've got Rafael Brzeski's logo on the knife. That's it. This one has the serial number on it, but the regular ones won't even have that. And it doesn't even say M390 on it anywhere. Like, there's just like no billboarding, no nothing. It's just a plain cool design. I love the look of the Wharncliffe. It's a gorgeous look. I like just to change it up a little bit. I like this little cutout in the blade. It's a very well thought out design. It's just very, very good. And the quality on it is just freaking outstanding. I mean, Wii's does great anyway, but this is the nicest Wii that I've held, which is saying something. I mean, my Minotaur is probably just as good, I guess, but this is just something about it. It's so smooth. I don't know if they put more effort in it because it's a limited run. I don't think so. I don't think Wii really operates that way. But everything is just so nicely chamfered and finished, and it's just gorgeous. And even inside, I'll try and get you guys a good shot of this. It's just as gorgeous inside as it is out. I did tear it apart. I should have taken some pictures, but all this milling inside, that's chamfered. Why? Why would you do that? It's cool they did, and it's cool to know that it's there, but it's just something to know that it's there. You know, it's like the brass plaque on your Ferrari. It's something that only you know is there, but you know it's there. Just amazing. And for a little over $300, guessing, maybe it's only even $3, I'm not sure, but still, for that price, it is just amazingly done. These titanium screws that Wii uses, it's the new generation of their screws, which is the best hardware in the industry now. They went from having the worst when they had those fucking star screws to now they have the best. It's a T8 everywhere. Super easy to take apart, pleasure to work on. You know, titanium backspacer, the mill pocket clip is just gorgeous and well done. Just everything about this knife is just really well done. The only flaw I have with it, and you can see it, is, and this is just me being anal retentive, the Wii logo on here is really hard to get straight. I did pull it off once, and then I readjusted the pivot a little bit after I opened it up and lubed it, and then I got it crooked again. It's not a free spinning pivot. There is like a little captive thing in there, but the tolerance isn't quite tight, so depending on how you tighten it, sometimes you get it. This is as far off as it gets, but you got to play with it a bit to make sure you get it straight. And I've been using this knife so much, and I'm sick of playing with it, and I'm fine with it. But if you are really anal retentive, you can get it straight, but it currently is not. How's that for a nitpick? That's a tiny little nitpick, but that's the only thing quality-wise I have with this at all. I love everything else about it quality-wise, just nothing. I mean, even look at the machining on the frame lock. It's just beautifully made. It really is. And I think aesthetically, it's freaking gorgeous. You may think it's plain, and I can't argue with you about that, and I can't blame you, because it is a very plain knife, but if you see one in person, they are beautiful. Let's talk about this blade. Wharncliffes are a weird thing for me. So 8 months ago, I didn't like Wharncliffes at all, and now I love them. It's kind of like, you know, about 2.5 years ago, I never ate asparagus. Now I love it. I think Wharncliffes are my new asparagus. I didn't like them before, and now I love them. It's a very useful blade shape for EDC stuff. and this is an extremely well done one. As I said, it's pretty long, 4 inches. What I do like a lot about this particular one, and this is one of the things I noticed on his Brzezinski's Customs that I liked, is it doesn't have a ridiculously thin tip. This is going to be really hard to get this to focus, but the tip is not robust by any means, but a lot of warnies have very, very thin tips. And this does not. It's actually a tip you can actually do some stuff with. Super sharp, hollow grind, very slicey. Came super sharp out of the box, has remained so. I've put this through quite a bit of use, probably more than most people will with a numbered edition knife, but I don't care about that. I buy knives to use. I don't care what number's on the blade. It's a great user knife, great user blade shape, very utilitarian. Very good. Slices through cardboard and all that kind of stuff like a champ. I even cut through a little bit of a very small amount of carpet with it. Hacked right through it. It's just a great blade. M390, as I said, and Wee's M390 is awesome. They do a great job with the heat treat. I've never had any issues with Wee's M390 at all. And again, that kind of polished bead blasty finish, which I really think looks great. So it does fingerprint up a bit, though. That's the only downside to it. But, you know, is that really a downside? Probably not. Let's talk about the ergonomics. Ergonomics, I'm also very happy with it. Fits my hand, again, large size hand, skinny fingers, supremely well. The handle is just long enough, and I'll show you why I'm saying it that way. You do have a little bit sticking out, but again, this is a 4-inch blade, and as you saw in the size comparisons, folded, it's not that big, because look at the packaging on that. That is the maximum amount of blade you can fit in that handle. And I will say, before anybody asks, if I really push hard, I guess I can kind of feel the tip there, but I'm pushing pretty hard and it's not in danger of cutting me. I can just feel like a little cat fingernail scratch there. That's about it. I've carried this thing a whole lot. It's not a problem at all. And I like that they cram this much blade in this small package. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a great accomplishment. Now, let's talk about the carry on it. Also carries really well. There is a bit sticking out. You're talking right there is where it is. So let's just line it up here. You know, this is how much you're going to have sticking out of your pocket. It's a bit, but it's not ridiculous, and it's all just gray. So it's not like it's super flashy or anything like that. And it's, as far as getting your hand in and out of your pocket, superb. For a 4-inch, I guarantee you, I don't know of any 4-inch knife that you can get your hand in and out of your pocket past it as well as you can the Wasabi. It's just awesome. The flipper tab is super minimalist, so you don't have to worry about that knocking on your stuff, and it's just a joy to carry. It really is. And 4.2 ounces is not even particularly heavy. It's awesome. Now, here's the thing I love the most about this, and this is my other nitpick with the knife, and I don't know how you qualify this, if you quality or whatever, and it's not just Wii, but the action on this thing now is superb, and when I got it, it was excellent. But I did tear it down out of curiosity's sake, and the bearings were totally dry. And that's not a Wii thing. That's something I've seen in a whole lot of knives. I've almost thought about doing another video about it, just kind of a rant. I don't know what it is lately. You know, when I didn't get in this hobby too long ago, a couple years ago, and I used to get, you know, knives that were in oily bags. They over-oiled everything. Now, a lot of companies seem to not be oiling anything. My Riot that I just got, dry. Several other knives I've gotten recently, dry. My last Spyderco, completely dry inside. It's just, I put some lube in there, guys. But I did tear this apart, put a little nano oil on it. As I said, when I got it, it was excellent. But now, just a little bit of nano oil, and it does have this very small flipper tab that you'd think would be a problem. It isn't. The detent on this thing is perfect. They have it really dialed in for this little tiny flipper tab. It's comfortable. It's not the most comfortable flipper tab in the world, but it's plenty comfortable enough, and bang, rockets out every time. I'm not even going to try to fail this because I've not yet succeeded in doing it. And then it just closes like that. It's just butter. It is just a complete buttery smooth knife in every way. The deployment on this thing is just addictive, and listen to that sound. I'm talking over it, but listen to the sound. That's a confidence-inspiring click there. Isn't it? Oh, it's so good. I just love fiddling with this thing. And blade, obviously 4 inches is pretty heavy, so that does assist in the fall shuttiness a bit. But, oh, just awesomely well done deployment. So that's it. Those are my only nitpicks, and these are, and I love this thing. And here's the big statement. I promise I was going to make a big statement at the end of this. I do have some other stuff that I'm still getting acclimated to. I do have some pre-orders on the way and stuff like that, but I have sold some stuff. I have a lot of knives that I really love, but of all my knives, I'm not sure I currently like any of them better than this. This thing is just fantastic. I don't want to say it's my favorite knife I own, but it's up there. It may be my favorite knife I've ever owned, or at least tied with it. I definitely can't think of anything I like more. If they all went away tomorrow, this would be a close contender. The only thing, and it's another little nitpick, I have to add on one little nitpick note, is 4 inches is pretty long. That's the max legal for my state. I would love to see this in a 3.5 inch version, or especially since they make a 4, make it a 3. I would love to see a mini Wasabi. I would absolutely love that, because in my city, in some neighborhoods, you're only allowed to carry a 3 inch. But it's an awesome knife. When they come out in serial production, or if you're going to blade stock, for my European viewers, get one. They're great. They're really, really great. It's well worth all the questions you guys give me on Instagram and all the, I'm not going to call it hype, because a lot of people didn't even know it was coming out. But for those of us that knew it was coming out, we were all really excited about it. So please, they mostly just kind of introduced on Instagram and stuff. It wasn't like a big, huge, giant release kind of thing. But there was an article on Knife News about it. But definitely check this out. It is a fantastic knife, and when it's in serial production, it's gonna be awesome. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.